Hello, everyone. If I could please have people tap the screen like the live, I would highly appreciate it. Thank you, Nightstorm. I do appreciate that. Oh, Lord have mercy. I just thought I would come on here and see how everybody's day is going. We've been having thunderstorms and severe weather like crazy, and it has been raining like no other. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing? I'm feeling much better, actually. Um, doing great. Hi, Sweetbriar. Yeah, happy hump day. Happy hump day. I really wanted to come on here and I wanted to come live because I wanna address just one thing. One thing. Um, because I feel like it's important for certain people to hear this message. Um, as you all know, several months ago, um, unfortunately, this is before, you know, a certain man was, arrested. Okay. And during that time, unfortunately, my phone number was given out. Um, and uh, was doxxed and was given out to somebody. This is somebody who, um, at that time, I thought, um, I was trying to help. Um, and I'm trying to keep this light because I really don't think you guys realize that, like, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it, right? I can be the first one to attest to that and can say that. But yeah, a few months ago, my number with somebody at that time who I was trying to help and I was friends with at the time. Unfortunately, I made the mistake and they had my actual number. And they decided, um, for whatever reason, to give my phone number out. And I had to change my phone number. Now, it has been brought to my attention since I have changed my number or whatever. Um, my new phone number has been, doxxed um, again. Um, and is it At first, was I really worried about it? Was I really like whatever? Because I'm like, if people are gonna try to you know call or text or send messages or whatever the case may be, I could just block them. But unfortunately, that never stopped. And some people are trying to be funny and trying to be cute. So once again, I've had to change my number again. And it's been brought to my attention since I've had to change my number again that certain people are calling my old phone number and they're texting my old phone number as well. So I decided to, I don't know who has my old phone number, but apparently some people are attempting to call that number and are sending that number um, text messages. So I'm here to address this. I texted my own phone number and just said, hey, um, I changed my old phone number. I don't know who you are or who has this number, but if you happen to receive any random phone calls or text messages from strangers, I do apologize. Unfortunately, I had to change my number because of the internet, and I just want you to know that any messages or phone calls that you receive, I apologize on my behalf. Well, um, whoever has my new number, let me know um, that they have in fact received phone calls. Um, Travesty Star, um, my phone company that I have, my cell phone company that I have, once your number is released and once you change your phone numbers, yeah, it does. Especially with the area code that I live in. So, and also, I don't know why you're in here, Travesty Star, because you always have something negative to say about me. I don't know who you are. So what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna mute you for the rest of the live. You can just sit here and watch. That's great. So, and Jana, after this live, I'll send you a DM here on TikTok. So I really want to refer from names. I do. I really want to refer from names, but I just want to announce to this person because I do I do know because I the person that I messaged with my old number, I had asked and I said, "Well, I said I do recognize some old numbers because I have, I had old numbers blocked. Um and I have a question. OG, why are you texting that old number of mine? And why are you attempting to make a phone call? Because that person received a call late at night from a restricted number." I don't know why people just can't leave me alone. Because now, unfortunately, someone else is receiving calls and text messages from my old phone number over internet drama, over absolute nonsense. I do have a puppy Tiff. I just don't understand why some of y'all really just can't move on, you know? Um and now an innocent bystander is getting text messages um you know from people on the internet because someone gave out my number. I don't get it. I really, really don't, you know? Um, I mean, at this point, it's like, I get it. You want to like have a good laugh and you want to have a good ha ha moment. But the fact that you guys are, I just want to address that anybody that is texting both of my old numbers, you're not texting me, you know? I just, I'm at this point now where it's like, I've said it, a couple of lives ago, to drown out the noise. But I just personally think it's just ridiculous that people are still trying to go out their way to, you know, um, think that they're doing something when you're not. I will just say that, moving forward, um, now I've just got to get, smarter, and just, um, just it's just going to have to be, if anybody wants to reach out to me or whatever, it's going to be have to be through TikTok, you know, because changing my number, it is a hassle because it's linked to everything. You know what I mean? It's linked to certain bills that I pay, certain accounts that I have. It's how I have to verify certain things. It's a pain in the ass. But I just want to make an announcement to TikTok that anybody who has had any of my old numbers, they're no longer in my, I don't have them anymore. So uh, I've had to change my number twice now because of the internet. You know, so what I tell y'all, please be careful who who you tell things to. Please be careful who you share things with. Um, don't trust anybody on the internet. I would actually suggest that you download a texting app, and have a texting number. If you are going to give out a phone number, don't give out your real number. Just don't do it. I mean, unless you make a friend on TikTok, you meet them in person, you know that person is a legit person and they're real. Um, but I just think that with this whole internet day and age, and how it all unfolds, and how quick people change and turn on people, I just would say, don't give out your real information. And please, uh, for the love of God, please leave, these people alone. Um, OG, I know that you have my old phone number, and I know that the message that you sent this person that has my new number, um, yes, yes, Jana, Witty was the one that did give OG my number a few months ago. Correct. So I'm just asking, just stop. You know, I mean, you could DM my real account here on TikTok. If you've got something to say. I don't know if it's being done for to be funny, or to try to show people that you're doing something, or if it's an intimidation thing, um or whatever the case may be. But um please stop. I can honestly say that a lot of phone numbers that I have from people that I have fallen out with here on TikTok, um I can truly say that, um I've never doxed your phone numbers, or uh plastered your phone numbers on my green screen, nor have I ever, handed out anyone's phone number like candy on here. Good morning, Tabby, or I guess you could say afternoon. You know, um, I've been really, have I addressed a couple of things, here and there? I have, but I've really just been trying to just do my own thing, and you know, do me. But it's like, when do people just get to the point where they realize that enough is enough, though? We're talking about grown adults here that are at this point in time are either making fake phone calls, or prank phone calls, whether it's during a live, or whatever the case may be. Just stop. you know there's so much of this back and forth that goes on with the internet, and it's one thing. We all know that people like to banter back and forth, but so much of this stuff has just gone way too far. And some people are going to say, that we were justified in doing it, or I felt justified in doing it. um it fixes nothing really. you know and we know how TikTok is. We know that TikTok is all about, who can, outdo each other, or who can try to get the last lick in. But yeah, I needed to get that out. I don't know. But yeah, so if anybody, um, my phone number is now off limits. So it's off limits. So um, well, yeah, Jana, I'll message you on that one. Yeah. Oh Lord help. But yeah, so there's that. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna have to just, if anybody wants to contact me or say whatever they want to say, DM me, you know. And if you say, well, oh well, you have my account blocked, I can't DM me. Well, you can DM me on a sneaky account and let me know who you are, and then I can unblock you. Um, but yeah, my phone number is um it's been changed again, and I'm gonna have to call the bank, and you know I gotta call some other people and change some shit around. So you never realize how much your phone number is linked to a lot of shit. Oh Lord. So and I don't want anybody to say that that, oh, she's lying, this didn't happen. Well, I do have screenshots from the said person that has my new number. So yes, I was able to verify one of the people that has text messaged, and then the restricted number. I don't know who's calling that old number from a restricted number, but I do have the screenshot of that as well. The this said individual. And also the person that has my old number is actually in their 60s. So very nice lady. And she doesn't even know what she doesn't even know what TikTok is. Oh shit. But just so you know that, like, when you talk about stuff and you guys plan stuff and you guys say you're going to do things, there's eyes everywhere. There are eyes everywhere. There are people that are always watching, and some people have been worried and have had concerns, and they have reached out to me. So, I mean, if you are plotting something or you're planning something and you're talking about it in a live, or if you've shared that with a certain individual, as we all know, people on TikTok like to talk about things and they share things to other people. And sometimes people are like, "Hey, that's not cool," you know. And they've recently have reached out to me and have, shared some things with me that are being plotted and planned against me, and um you know I don't know. God, this fucking internet shit is sometimes I wish we could just go back to the simple MySpace days or whatever. I don't know. But what's crazy though is like it just because you have a falling out with somebody, or people decide to go their separate ways, like why does there always have to be vindictiveness behind some of this shit? Why do people feel the need to go the extra mile to do shit to people? I don't know. So, and what I also think is funny is a lot of people come on here and they talk about things that they know nothing about, or they spew misinformation, and people latch onto that information and they think that it's true, or they go along with it when in fact you don't know anything. Um, it's just really at that point just diarrhea of the mouth. It's kind of like the game telephone, where it starts with one person and then it goes around a huge circle, and then by the time it gets to the last person, it's a whole different it's a whole different thing. I think that that's what TikTok has turned into. You know, and I think people are just way too quick to when there is a falling out where people just air out everything. Um, it's like, when people have a falling out, it's like they don't like that person anymore, so they go sit with another group, and then they decide to expose every message that you've sent a person. Um, and it's kind of like, to me, if you're so easily able to send out people your text message friend or threads to people that you called once your friend, that person probably more than likely was never your friend. There was probably a motive or a hidden agenda behind it, you know? But we all know that that's how people move on TikTok. And that's why I want to just keep saying that don't trust people on the internet. Don't be so quick to give out information. Be careful what you say in a text message, because it can come back and it can bite you in the ass, because that person that you're texting you might have a falling out with, and if you're here on TikTok, they're going to show the shit and they're going to share it, you know. I will say that I am so glad that I'm in my more calmer era in my life, and that, before, I probably would have flown off the handle and, you know, would have just been, cussing and screaming and, hooting and hollering and, saying this about this person or that person. I'm just saying now that just stop, you know, just stop. You don't get to have access to me anymore. And I think that's what gets people, is because if I'm not entertaining it and I'm not feeding into it and they're not getting a rise out of me, I think that drives people insane, because some people want to still try to get me upset, or they want to get me to crash out. Um, and they want me to crash out for entertainment purposes. Um, and that's just not how it's gonna roll anymore. you know I can't control what people do, what people say, how people behave here on the internet, on TikTok. I know that I can control what I do and how I react, you know but I just really wanted to come on here and just address that one thing. I i want to, it's like people want me to stay in the same place that I was at. It's like people want to try to have me revert back to how I once was and how I once acted on here and, just flew off the handle. And that's just not going to happen, you know. And what I really don't understand on this app is that there are some people on this app that sit with certain groups and will watch my name be dragged and, me being talked about. And then after the fact, you want to reach out to me and then you want to act like you care and you say, "Oh, Shannon, I wish they would stop and I hate this for you and I can see that you've made changes and that you've been working on things." And a part of me says, "Well, why don't you say something?" You know, if that's how you truly feel, um and then why do you still go over there and participate? You can't reach out to me and say that you care when you're actively in a live and in a chat and things are being done and things are being said, but you don't want to say anything. And I get it. Sometimes people don't want to say anything because they feel like they're going to get retaliated against. You know, I would just prefer that you just don't message me and pretend like you care. If you can't care about me, publicly, you don't get the access to try to care about me privately, you know. Um, I have built, I have, I have, remolded, I guess you could say, my circle of friends that I have. Um, and it has taken time for me to build somewhat of trust because I have these walls up because of how everything has happened on this app and how people move on this app. I'm just very cautious. You know, I have to be. I have to be cautious. You know, because how I people do and how they like to retaliate against other people. You gotta be careful. You gotta protect yourself. I I say, even when it comes to, if you've got a Facebook page or, Instagram with, personal photos on there or pictures of your family or whatever, it is, be careful who you share that information to because not everybody is your friend. Sometimes people try to pretend like they're your friend when in fact they're just being surveillance. So they can try to get information on you and then turn on you. And then before you know it, you're wondering why you know, certain thing is being shared, you know. I guess the difference with me is that I don't really keep shit, I never have. I'm the world's worst when it comes to, oh, I should screenshot that or I should save that, just because, just so I have it, for proof or for myself. But I've never really, even when I started going, got heavy on TikTok back in 2024, you know, in 2024, I was way too trusting in people. Um, I told way too much about my life, way too much about myself, shared things that I should have just kept to myself. I have myself to blame for that, then, and I'm sorry if I come across as, guarded or, not as open uh, to certain things, or I don't share a lot of things with certain people. I, I have to protect myself, you know. And everybody should want to protect themselves and be more careful and more cautious on here. But you also got to realize that people turn on a dime. You could think you're friends with somebody and you could say, "Oh, I've been friends with them for 6 months," or, "Oh, I've been friends with them for a year." Well, we all see how quick people fall out on this app, and we see how easily it is that people, you know, flip sides or flip who they, go and watch or what group they sit with, you know. I just look at it now and it's we're in April, you know. Um God, why do I say the word a lot? Self-awareness on what words you say. So much has happened since January of 2026 from now. So much. It's hard to even unpack it all, to be honest. It's hard to unpack everything. But I will say this, and I'm going to keep saying it. In order for me to move forward, I have to drown out the noise. I have to drown out the negativity, the opinions of others. People are going to have opinions about me. They're going to have opinions about other people. We're human. We all have opinions. But so many people, they take their opinions, they take their narrative, and they take what they think they know. They take bits and pieces, they try to twist it and turn it. And what it all boils down to is it's just a game of telephone. I wish people could just learn to say, you know what? Okay, I'm not friends with this person no more. We don't align anymore. You go your way, I go mine, and we move on. And that's all you can do. I mean, all you can do is ignore them. And it is a game of intent and gotcha. It's a game of, I've got this dirt on you, or I've got this and that, and I'm going to show this screenshot of when you said that or when you did that. I don't care. But a large majority of us, including myself, have been in some absolute fuckery. I mean, there's been a lot of us. Now, do a lot of us, me including, you know, there are some times where people wake up and say, "I don't want a part of it no more. I don't." And it's not. We can all sit here and we can point fingers, right? And we can say, "Well, this group did that, or these people did that, or they did that." They're on this side of TikTok, it's one big circle jerk. Okay? It goes from group to group to group, right? And it's like people don't want to have conversations. It's like, okay, if there's no resolution, what's the point? Right? If you can't come to a common understanding, if you can't just say, you know what, we're not aligning anymore, you know, we're not friends anymore. I understand you feel a type of way, and so do I, but let's have the mutual understanding and the mutual respect where you go your way, I go mine. And I think so many people want people to get in a box, and they want everybody to go down a huge list, and they want everybody to apologize from A to Z for this person and this person and this person and this person. And everybody says, well, you have to hold yourself accountable for all the things that you have done. That would take that would take forever. you know on this side of TikTok, if people truly wanted peace and they truly wanted resolution, I wish that somebody could just hold a live, and it could be called the resolution live. Where it can say, what, if you truly want to hash things out, and I'm not talking about screaming or yelling or trying to overtalk people. It's going to be like, okay, if we all want to move on, why can't we all just have a mutual understanding? I know that it's a hard pill to swallow. I know because I've had to do it myself. But when you're wrong, or when you're doing something wrong, or when you've participated in something wrong, how hard is it to just say I'm sorry? How hard is it to say I was wrong? I was wrong in participating it. I was wrong for co-signing it. I was wrong for all of it. And I think the reason why people don't do that is because they're so worried about what other people will think or say if they do that. It's like, I understand that it's hard because you want people, me personally, at one point in time, I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to be accepting of me. And I'm at this era in my life. I don't owe anybody anything anymore. I don't need to seek validation through other people on the internet. Beans don't burn on the grill. I do. You were wrong, baby. Let your friends know you were wrong. It's the right thing to do. Um. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Whatever happened to people just going live and having fun? You know, you should be allowed to do that, but it's never going to stop on all sides until people stop responding. Because I realize that if I address everything, right? If I somebody holds a live about me, and let's say that I pop off because somebody went live and somebody spoke on me, I- what good is it going to do for me to react? Because every time that I've reacted, every time that I've responded, what do people do? They keep going, or they try to go harder. And what I'm learning is I'm not going to give you the energy. You're going to have to recycle old shit about me, because you're going to have nothing new to keep going on with. And eventually it's going to get tiring, and it's going to get boring, and you're going to move on to the next person. Hi, Christine. It's kind of like you can't beat a dead horse, and some people continue to do it. Some people hold lives every day to do clapbacks, or to respond, or live stream a video, or live stream a live, because they're like, oh, I'm being talked about today, so let's all sit in here in this live and rewatch a live where I'm being talked about, you know, let me respond back to what this person is saying about me. Why do you feel the need to do that though? If you know what that person is saying is wrong, or if you know what that person is saying is false, why feed into it? Why feed it energy? Why fuel it? Why throw more fuel on the fire? And I get it. People say, I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to defend myself. Why are we defending ourselves for people on the internet? If you know that it's not true. Now, I understand, let's say somebody puts a huge, and I mean a huge false narrative or allegation on you. And if you can prove that that's not true, and you know that somebody is, and I'm talking about like, I'm not talking about banter. I'm talking about, I understand if you want to defend yourself because of a really serious false allegations. But I think when you do the whole tit for tat, the back and forth, every day, all day, it solves nothing. I agree. I agree. Beans don't grow on the grill, and I've had to learn that for myself. Right? Without changed behavior, an apology doesn't mean anything. You know, but sometimes when people do give those apologies, you also got to realize just because you apologize doesn't mean that it fixes everything. And sometimes you just got to realize that you got to it's getting old. It's getting old. And I think a lot more people need to start speaking up on it, you know. And just, if you're in a live and you see that it's going in a negative direction and you want to change it around, but I get it that a lot of people don't hold lives. I get a lot of people um sometimes a lot of people stay in the comment section. Some people don't get into boxes. Some people just stay in the chats, and that's fine. And like you said, beans don't run on the grill. You said if somebody wants an apology, they'll accept it. But the reality is so many people on this app say they want the apology, but when that apology comes, it's never good enough for people, you know. Hi, Nana. Right. But what I'm at this point as is I have said my apologies, right, to certain people. I have expressed my things. I've owned up to parts that I've played, things that I've done, right? But it's kind of like at what point do people just stop rehashing and recycling old stuff? Exactly, Sweetbriar. Um, but what they really want is just a reason to make you say it for their own BS. So then they can just turn around and laugh at you at it, you know. And that's where I'm at. I have apologized, I have owned up. And I'm at this point they can take it or leave it or just leave me alone. And what's really crazy is there's some things that I haven't even done to certain people. I've never spoken on certain people. I've never, kept it going with certain people, but because they sit with a certain content creator, they feed on it. I have certain people that are, talking about me, or, you know, um, they're almost like pushing for it, like do this, do this, do this. It's almost like little cheerleaders in the background that are like cheering it on. And these are some people that I've never had interactions with, you know. But it's all about content. It's all about the drama, because that's what sells on TikTok. And I know that sometimes people don't even care about what they're doing. They just look at the numbers and they get excited because they see numbers in their room. And once again, beans don't burn on the grill. People can accept an apology and still not want to be associated with you, and that's fine. And I accepted that a long time ago, you know. If you don't want to associate with somebody because they've done something, or you don't like them and they've apologized, like, you can still accept the apology and just not associate with them. But it's like, I, I've not done anything current. I've not really been in any bullshit. I've just been doing my own thing, staying in my own lane. And it's like, people want to just keep talking about things that happened in 2024, 2025, replaying old lives, replaying old clips. You know, um, I was there. I know if I've participated in it, or if I was, you know, hanging around certain people at that time, I know what's happened. I was there, you know? And I think what a lot of people need to understand is, when you apologize, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. When you apologize, you address what you did wrong and you apologize for it. But you don't put a but on the end of it and say, well, but they, but because that happened and this happened. You just got to say, you know what, I did it and I was wrong and I apologize. That's all you can do. And like I said, the whole purpose of my live, because I've had to change my number twice now. Twice. And now that the person who has my old number is now receiving messages and prank phone calls, from TikTok drama. And I want people to stop, you know. And I don't DM me. Good Lord, don't DM me. Don't ask me for my phone number. Don't I don't do Instagram. I don't. Um, you know, my Facebook is for, my family, my friends that I've gone to school with, or I've known throughout the years. Um, I I'm at this point. I trust. I don't trust a lot of people. People turn on a dime. This week you could be sitting with a whole ass group, and before you know it, in 24 hours, it can all just fall apart. I mean, that's when I was trying to, help Woody. When Jana and I were trying to help Woody, and all that stuff, she had my number to call if she needed me, or if she needed help with something. Um, but unfortunately, um, somebody got a hold of her and convinced her to give out my number. You know, I just think it's just, I think it's all juvenile. It really is. It's all juvenile. It's all nonsense. I think I'm just kind of at this point where the attacking people going back and forth, it's affecting people. For the longest time, I let it affect me in ways that I never thought I could be affected. But I also didn't have the mindset at the time that, my God, it's the fucking internet. This is an app. You literally have control whether or not you watch the shit or you don't. And I'm also at the point that if you are opening up this app and you are actively participating in it and you're continuing to be in all the drama and the BS, you are doing it to yourself. And people should be allowed to walk away without the fear of being retaliated against. People should be able to say, I don't want to be a part of this. This is not aligning with me anymore. And I'm going to move on to different things. And people should be allowed to do so without retaliation. And I also think that some people need to humble themselves a little bit more on this app. Because I do feel like some content creators are getting a little too big for their britches on here. I do. I feel like some content creators are letting they're kind of getting an ego. I feel like some people are letting TikTok, I don't know if it's their own little false reality but I think some people let this app get to their heads and they truly believe that they're untouchable, or they truly believe that, you know, they're famous. I don't care if you've got 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 followers, you know, it, the numbers sometimes don't even make sense. You can have somebody with 40,000 followers and they may only have 60 people in their life, you know? I'll I'll give an example, right? In 2024, when I had initially started, um I think when I was initially doing the whole, awareness, and I was doing the Josh and Ida thing, I want to say I roughly at that time maybe had around 25, 26,000 followers. And I had gotten up close to 40,000. That account has since been entered, by the way. But even though I had all these people that were following that account, that didn't mean nothing. Because when I went live, on certain lives, I maybe had 300 people in that live, but that really isn't nothing. And I think so many people just allow this, they get this ego built up on TikTok, and they get that kind of like, I'm untouchable, like, look at how many followers I got, or look how many people I got in my live. And let's all be honest, when there's drama going on and there's a lot of bickering and fighting, or somebody's dropping, they think they're dropping some tea, you see the numbers come up. And even though you may have 700 people in your, on your top screen, you don't have that many people in your comment section. It's the same people every night, every day. And I will say that some things that I've participated in and some people that I sat with, I was ruining my own character because I was allowing myself to sit with fuck shit. No one else at that time was destroying my character. I was doing it myself. And we've all not, I'm going to say we've all, a majority of us have done it. A majority of us have said unhinged things, um, have gone off batshit crazy. But I can look back from 2024 from now. I've come a long fucking way. I've had to, I've had times where I've been humbled. There were some times where I had to be humbled. Um and it's okay because sometimes you need to be checked. Sometimes you need to have people to bring you back down to reality because the internet is forever. And just because you think that just because you think that uh you've got a new account, or you've deleted that video, there's somebody that could have saved a video or could have screen recorded you doing something, and it's plastered all over the place. But and I will say, Beans, you said, some call attention to things people are still doing. Um, I think people need to be a little bit more selective on what they're bringing actual attention to. Is it bringing attention to something because what needs to be talked about is harmful and hurtful? You know, are we bringing attention to it because what what has happened, or what currently people are still doing it? Is it still harmful? Is it still hurtful? If people need to still discuss those things, okay, cool. But it's kind of like, I will say this: if you truly want to move on from it, right, and you truly want to just like part ways, and you want to do your own thing, you got to drown out the noise. You really do. And it's hard. It's hard because you can sit there and you can have a live, and you can go and have fun, and not be talking about really nothing. And you're still going to have people that are going to live stream you. You still have people that are going to commentate your live. They're going to try to make fun of you. They're going to try to get a rise out of you, because I know that's happening to me right now. I know that some people see that I'm just moving on and I want to have fun and shoot the shit. And I know that it's driving people batshit crazy because I'm not giving them the energy that they want from me. And I love the fact that I have control over how I react to shit. And I will say that if you want to have fun, have fun. You want to go live and you want to play music and you want to play a game, or you want to just have a fun game night, or just have a live where you guys are talking about different subjects and stuff like that, do it. If somebody comes in your lives and says, such and such is live streaming you, such and such is talking about you, don't even address it. And I think for me, I'm at this point where I have to just keep telling myself, drown out the noise. If somebody brings up a topic, somebody brings up a subject in the comment section, or they try to say, remember when you did this, or remember you did that, don't address it. Look at the comment, ask yourself, do you want that person to still be able to type in the comment section? If not, mute them, carry on about the live. I mean, I could go live and I could write a list down and I could go down the whole list and I could pop off on this person and that person and that person, and I could say whatever I want about this person, and I could do some clapbacks, and I could make funny jokes, I could make funny memes, I could make funny videos, I could just keep it, I could just keep going and going and going and going and going. But I know that in order for me to move on, I have to drown it out. I do not give these people another time of my energy. All I'm asking is, leave me alone. If I'm not talking about a certain subject, if I'm not talking about a certain person, and you see that I'm moving on, why continue to come into my life to further harass me? And the only reason why people are coming in my comment sections still doing the things that they're doing is because they want to get a reaction out of me. They want me to step out of character. I cannot control what people say about me, what they do. I cannot control whether people want to hold lives about me, whether or not they want to make memes about me, whether or not they want to put me on a green screen and mock me, make fun of me, laugh at me, body shame me. Um, I can't control what these people continue to do. I can only control me. And me not entertaining it, me not feeding into it, is me taking power back. And once you take your power back and you make them see and you make them realize that they're like, well, why hasn't she gone live? Why hasn't she addressed that we were making fun of her? Why hasn't she addressed that, we're still talking shit? I fucking don't care. I have allowed this app to take so much of me, and I cannot do it another fucking day. There's some people that come in here that, or have started coming into my lives, and, they have set in lives where I've been bashed and trashed, and they see that I'm not doing what I once was, and they're coming back around because they just, they want to just, enjoy me being me. I don't care what has happened in the past. From 2024 up until now. I really don't care. If you don't like somebody, walk away and move on. And you can say, well, this side supports this person, this side supports that person. We may never understand. We may never understand why certain people support people, right? You're going to say, I don't know why that person would support that person because they've done A, B, C, and D. Well, that can also be said about you because you are doing A, B, C, and D. Have some people taken shit way too far? Absolutely. Have some people um, acted a certain way because it's called reactive abuse? Yeah, reactive abuse is real. Everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has a point where they've had enough and people snap. For the longest time growing up, I never understood why I was the way that I was. I never understood why I did the things that I did or why I always tried to mold myself into what I thought another person wanted me to be. I did not realize how much personal trauma that I had went through in my childhood that I let build up into my adult life that later affected me and it affected my mental health. I never realized that I had, if you were born in the 80s or upwards, when we were small children, we were really not taught to express our emotions. We were not really allowed to express our emotions. If we had any really big concerns, we were just told to suck it up and deal with it. You know, we were told to sit down and shut up. I was born in 81, you know, 81. What's crazy is from the time I was born until I was 3 years old, I was a traumatized child. And people don't realize in early development of a child, even as early, as young as 2 and 3 and 4 years old, it can affect your adulthood. you know Before I was adopted, I was not in good living conditions. you know um I was an what is it called, emaciated. I was a starved child. I was in a horrific environment. um Thank God, my mom and dad that adopted me and took me in at they've had to deal with it. I think what people need to understand is that the reason why I have such a hard time, and I've explained this to Jana, um, when Jan and I we talked every day. I have always said on my platform that trauma dumping is not my thing. Sometimes people will get in a box and they will spew out their whole lives on TikTok, and they will tell every traumatic event that they've gone through on someone else's platform. And or they'll say, this happened and that happened. Do you know why I have such a hard time with that? I have a hard time with that because I still don't know how to. No, I'm not going to say I don't know how to. I am still working through my own shit that has happened to me in my own life. And I'm still trying to navigate what I've been through. And I'm still processing the shit that I've gone through in my life. So it's very hard for me to try to, you know, navigate through someone else's and process it. And it brings the mood down. It brings the mood down. You know, I don't like talking about shit I've been through in my life. I don't. Um, and the reason why I've never really been fully transparent through what I've been through in my life is because I know that people will twist it and turn it on TikTok and will mock me for it. Or they'll say, that didn't happen. Or she's lying. I've been through a lot. I've I've survived a lot, you know. But it's up to me to learn how to get through that. And I'm 44 years old. And I'm just now at the point in my life where the first time in my life since I was 18, I'm living my life for me. I'm not having to mold myself into what I think other people want me to be. I'm not having to mask who I am. And I will genuinely say to those people that got to, that thought they knew me in 2024 when I went live on TikTok. You were you were dealing with a masked Shannon, a broken Shannon. You know, some of y'all had no idea what I was going through in my life. I didn't talk about it. TikTok was an outlet for me. I It was an escape. It was an escape from my true life, my reality. And in October of 2024, I allowed this app to break me. But I will say that I'm grateful now. When it was happening then, I didn't understand it. But now I know why. I have a better understanding of myself. And I will say that being diagnosed with BPD and seeing actual, therapist and psychiatrist and psychologist, um, and a lot of testing and a lot of talking through things, I was a broken person in 2024. I was a broken person. That girl that y'all saw laughing and smiling and going live every night and putting on her little outfits and eating her pickleballs and her candy and all that stuff. Y'all were dealing with a broken Shannon. I not only hated the world, I hated myself. I hated myself. I hated who I was becoming. And I was in such a rut, and I was so deep, and I kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. I didn't know how to dig myself up from the trenches. And I can honestly say that the person that I'm with today is is the one person that saved me. He saved me from myself because he saw right through me. He saw right through me. You know, he saw that I was a broken person, and he knew from the jump there was something there that wasn't making sense. But I am glad that I can honestly say that everything I've been through on this app, it's been a learning curve for me. It's taught me so much about myself. It's taught me it's taught me that it's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to have those walls and have those barriers up and just to not let anybody in, because when you're already a broken person and you just allow random people inside those walls, some of those people are not there for your best interest. They don't have the best interest for you. A lot of the times, some people only sat with me because it was benefiting them. Some people only sat with me because it was getting them clout and it was getting them attention. I just want y'all to know that I regret ever hitting the live button back in 2024. You know, I was the worst. I was the most broken version of myself. Hi, Tiffany. I was. I was I was the worst version of myself. I see old clips that are played of me of back then, and sometimes I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. I don't even know what I was mad about. And I don't even think I was ever mad at anybody. I was mad at myself. And I will say, after all the shit that I've been through in my life, and I will say that all the trauma and all the bad shit that's happened in my life, I will tell you that in August of 2021, the day that my daddy died, there was something inside me that died that day. Tiffany, I appreciate it. And I will say, I can honestly say through all that I've been through, August 23rd, 2021, a part of me died that day. And I will say that that was my down spiral. I just never realized it. And if you've never really lost a parent, or if you've lost someone really close to you, um, you may not understand, you know. Tiffany, you're famous. Well, on TikTok, you can be anybody you want to be. Um, I think a lot of people, what I've realized on this app, I think there's a lot of broken people on this app, and they use this app as an outlet to try to escape reality. And I can say that that's what I was doing for myself at that time. You know, sometimes this app brings out the worst in us. And I think sometimes, you know, we we have all gotten caught up in situations where we've all lost sight of who we are. But I am now at 44. I am a place and a space in my life where I can breathe again, where I truly have joy and happiness and peace in my life. And even though I was a broken person who used this app back in 2024 as an escape, this app has taught me so much. TikTok is not reality. We are all sitting on our phones, talking through a screen, talking to random internet strangers on an app. We all thought that we were going to have flying cars and all this technology was going to arise and, you know, shit. We all thought, we were going to be in the, Jet Jones era, whatever the hell they call that. But now in 2026, there's an app called TikTok that allows people to either be the best versions of themselves or the worst versions of themselves. Oh, the Jetsons. Did I say the Jet Joneses? Did I say the Jetsons? My God. Anyway, it's not the Jet Joneses, it's the Jetsons. It's just I don't know. This world, it's a crazy place we live in. And I have said this time and time again. We are all just human beings living on a floating rock trying to get through life. You know, we're all just trying to just get through life. And, you know, most of us work, have jobs, lives, families, all that stuff. Um, I think this, I think social media in a way has ruined people. It's ruined people. It's made it too, it's too accessible. It's too easy for people to log on here and just, flip a switch. Hey, Southern. Hey, beautiful. Um, you just got to learn to roll with it, man. Oh, no. No, you don't. Listen, if you're in here and y'all aren't being mean or hateful, I really don't care who comes into my life, you know? Because the thing is if I block you, more than likely people just go make a fake account and come in here and watch anyway. That's how TikTok works. Um I just know for me personally, I can truly say that from 2024 until now, I am a better person. I am not perfect. I am human. I am flawed. And as a human, I'm always going to make mistakes. But I also know that I need to reel it in. I need to reel it in. You know, if you feel like you can only sit with a certain group of people and those are the only types of people that you can, you want to hang around with, that's fine. And that's who you want to engage with, that's fine. Everybody has a right to go where they want to go. I just think people just need to learn when to just walk away because in the end, you're going to be a better person from it. And eventually, people are going to see who the problem is. And I don't change. And I'm not, I don't have growth for anybody because I don't owe anybody on this app a damn thing. I never have. And I will never ever allow people to try to think that that needs to be my mindset. I know who I am in my real life. And I get it. Some people like to, I guess some people like to think that they can, they come on here and they can just be a character. And that's fine. But like, I don't know where, I don't know what's the fun in trying to be a villain, you know? There doesn't always have to be some type of vendetta or viciousness. So, life's too short, guys. It really is. It to me, time just seems to be going by faster and faster, you know? I think people take time for granted too, because life can change so fast for some people. But I think some people just need to realize that you're in control of your life. You're in control how you react. You're in control how you respond. And I get it that some people just want attention. They want attention, whether it's good attention or bad attention. And Southern, I muted that one person. I muted them. Yeah. I was just about to tell you to handle business with that one, but you know. Oh God. Some people just need to let their frontal lobe develop. For real. And a fucking A, man. Like honestly, some people just need to let the frontal lobe develop, and in a few years they're probably going to be embarrassed. You know, Southern, you know what? Never mind. Um, I'll talk to you. We'll talk about that later. Because when I say that I am flabbergasted, I'm flabbergasted with some things. But I'm not going to address that here on TikTok. Me and you will have a conversation about that shit. Oh, don't worry. It's. Oh, yeah. Like I said, frontal lobe development, it comes later for some people. And, you know, in you'll realize it once your frontal lobe develops, and you sit back and you look back at some of the things that you've done. You'll be happy that it finally developed. You'll understand it. Hold on a second. I gotta go let Miss Miley Ray out. What's she doing? Do you have a good nap? Do you have a good nap? Oh Lord. Time to scream like a lion. Oh no, Cece. I'm not saying that anybody's dumb, but um, what I am saying is that when you have a high school girl mean mentality, and you want people to leave you alone, and you want people to see that you've made changes, you can't keep doing the same old shit, you know? Um, Me personally, I will just say me personally that I am 44, and I don't feel like that being around or being associated with somebody in their mid 20s, um you know, that continues to want to do high school behavior, that's just not going to align with me. You know, I'm trying to refrain from names here, Shadow Reaper and Cece. I mean, I'm just going to say that, the maturity level of someone in their 20s versus someone in their 40s, the maturity level's just not there. And I'm not going to align or interact with people that have the mindset of of junior high school shit. you know, I'm not going to argue with somebody that has the mindset of a high schooler. It serves no purpose for me. And once again, people need to realize that just because you don't align with someone anymore, or just because you don't relate to somebody, just you're just not on you're not on the same wavelength. I guess I guess what really gets me is like when you have a 40-year-old. Some people say, well, they're legal. I don't care whether you're 40 or 45 or whatever the case may be, but if you're in your 40s, you have no business interacting with people that are even 18. And I don't care if people say that that person's legal. They do not have the frontal lobe development for you to even be able to have anything in common. I don't know what anybody who is in their 30s or 40s or 50s, if you're hanging out with people that are in their early 20s, what are you relating to? One group is listening to the Beatles and the other one's listening to Bieber. Someone like me, I was born in 81, so I like White Snake. Am I going to am I going to interact with somebody that, you know, um I'm just saying, Cece, that I have allowed myself to sit with people that have they're just they need to have more frontal lobe development. They need to have some more self-awareness. Um I'm not going to I'm not going to deal with none of the fuckery. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like, these younger kids, they're in their 20s, whether let's say they're 22, 23, and you've got a group of people that are in their 40s and 50s. It's just kind of like, what do you have in common? You know, you don't. You don't have nothing in common. And I definitely am not going to sit here and, I love it when people think that they know more about life than me when they're in their 20s. They act like they've been through more in life. You know, there's that. And trust me, I've had to learn that the hard way. I've had lessons learned. You know what? You know what, Southern? Do you know what? I had a conversation with Mike. Um, and I will say that it's so funny because we went on a little road trip yesterday and we went shoe shopping. And I find it funny though how people they switch up so fast. They switch up so fast because in in recent events, there's a lot of people that have had a wraparound. You know, they've come back around because we're doing a wraparound. And my question is like, but why though? You know? But why? I'll never probably understand it because I don't understand people on the internet. I don't. I don't. And I guess maybe because I've just kind of re-put these walls back up, and not only have I put these walls up, but I've put them up with concrete and rebar. Um, I've plastered over the concrete. I have then tiled it, and I have sealed it. You know, right, right. But what I will say is that, not a lot, there are just a select few of people that treated me a certain type of way with no valid reason other than they listened to what other people were saying. And now it's all kind of coming back full circle. And I will say that, like, you know, I don't wish harm or anything on people. I don't wish anything bad in people's lives. I wish the best for people. Um, Everybody deserves the chance to grow and to move on, but it's just like, I just don't want to sit at your table anymore. I hope that you eat good. I hope good things happen in your life, but I just don't want to sit at the same table no more. Okay? You go over there and you have your mashed potatoes and your chicken fried steak dinner, and then over here on my side, we're gonna have some meatloaf. Okay? You go sit at your table, I'll sit at my table, and we'll just move on about life. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I know meatloaf does sound pretty good. I will say this though. Do y'all think TikTok is going to be this big in the next 5 years? Do y'all see TikTok kind of dwindling down in the next 5 years? Like with the battling and all that stuff, do y'all kind of see that it's going to just kind of start getting old? That's a genuine question. Because I feel like if TikTok ever goes away, right? Because eventually, as we all know, um, you know how today is, the economy, people are struggling. People don't have just that extra free money to just throw out anymore. And I kind of feel like with some content creators, I feel like that it's going to start dwindling, you know? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I kind of foresee in the next 5 years, I truly foresee TikTok dwindling down. I feel like people are going to get tired of it because I think it's going to be the same old, wash, rinse, repeat type shit. And I think people are going to start getting bored, you know? I know it has for me. I used to sit here and just, I used to watch TikTok all day, all my day off or whatever. I would just, watch videos or, watch live stuff like that. Now I find myself, and it'll tell me on my phone that I'm not on TikTok very often. I might scroll through it on maybe an hour or so a day, but I'm not on it like I used to be. I've actually made it a point where I'm actually making it where I'm not on TikTok. I love it. I love it when I can just set my phone down and not deal with anything to do with my phone. And I will say that if you don't watch it, you don't know what's going on. You know, some people seek out to watch it. Some people want to watch the drama and the bullshit. And some people go on Drama Talk, or they go to these other YouTube pages to rewatch lives and stuff. I just can't do it. You know, I've had people say, "Oh, well, did you go rewatch such and such lives?" Why am I going to go watch somebody yap and talk for 6 hours? And that's why I'm so pissed off at myself, because I've wasted so much time and energy on TikTok for hours and hours and hours. And that's time I'm never going to get back. That's time that I wasted. And it don't make no sense. There ain't nobody there ain't nobody that means that much to me on TikTok that I have to, exert my energy and my time and all that into watching them constantly. You know. And it's good when you drown out the damn noise. It's good when you just drown it out. Because if you don't watch TikTok for a week and then you log back on, you're lost. And I would say I 10 out of 10 recommend that if you are an avid TikToker watcher, or you're somebody that has to be on TikTok every day, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to not watch TikTok for a week. And I don't care if you got to go watch Facebook Reels, or if you even have to download another app and watch videos there. But I challenge people to log off TikTok for 1 week, not watch a single live, not getting any looped up in any of the bullshit on what's happening on this side and that side. And I guarantee you, if you log off for 1 week and not watch that shit, look how fast things switch up. Look how fast things change. You'll be so damn lost. You won't even know, what's going on. My moon. What's my moon doing? Oh, there we go. Hold on. I gotta let Molly Ray in. I don't know. I don't understand people. I'll never understand people. I just know that for me, this shit's so fucking ridiculous. It really is. It's getting old. You know, it's. But anyway, other than that, does anybody have any plans today? Anybody gonna do anything fun today? Here, Molly, you want a snack? How's it going? Say what? I do know that when Mike gets off work, we gotta go to the grocery store. Honestly, Southern, I just might make a meatloaf for dinner. I haven't made a meatloaf in a while. Are you gonna make a meatloaf? Hey, Southern, if you make a meatloaf, I'll make a meatloaf. We're gonna have the great meatloaf cook-off. Molly, what do you want? You want me to get your lammy? Hold on. I swear this dog, you'll like my turbojet. She has her favorite stuffed little toy, and it's her Lammy. And what'd you do with it, Mama? I can't find it. Is it in your blanket? What are you doing? What'd you do with it? Did you grab it? Mama, I don't have your Lammy. I don't see it in here. What'd you do? Did you grab it? Heifer? I bet you grabbed that damn thing. Yes, I am talking to myself. I'm talking to my dog. Okay. What'd you do with it? If you grabbed that son of a bitch, I bet you grabbed it, didn't you? Come on, let's go. Come on, Molly. Come on. Did you grab it? I know you lying. You already had it the whole time. Girl. I'm sitting here looking for this damn dog Stuffy Lammy thing, her little lamb chop. It's a stuffed toy. And Southern, I'm sitting there digging in her blankets and shit, and she done dragged the damn thing out in the living room. Jesus, fix it. Jesus, fix it. Southern, did y'all get some bad storms last night? We did. Well, the past few nights has been pretty, I think a tornado dropped down in Milwaukee. Oh, Milwaukee got a nader. Oh, shit. Ain't that some shit? You from the south and you move up north and then you still get naders? No, ma'am. We ain't doing that shit. No, quit barking. Quit. Oh, y'all got hail? Oh, hell, you got some hail. Molly, you about to make me lose my mind. What do you want? I tell you what, we have got to get this dog a companion. I tell you what, wiener dogs do better with a friend. I'm telling you, she is like stage 10 clinger status and shit. Here, have that. I'm gonna put that in there. Oh yeah, there we go. No, I saw last night there was a tornado that that was in Milwaukee, so that's kind of crazy. They said that the tornado alley changed, like it's a whole different area. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a pretty epic tornado season this year, to be honest with you. You're in it. You better get underground. You're going to be seeing some cows. Oh, shit. God dang it. I don't know how some of y'all stay on. I don't know how you guys stay on TikTok all hours of the night. You got a 12-pack on your porch with a broom? Listen, I'll be the first to say, anytime tornado sirens go off, I'm standing outside and looking. I will be the first to admit, I will literally go out there and watch. I don't know. I love storms. I love thunderstorms. Cannot stand blizzards and snow. I'd rather deal with thunderstorms and severe storms than I would blizzards or snow or any of that shit. Do y'all know where I live? They have what they call snow thunder, where it literally thunders when it's snowing. Have y'all ever heard that shit? When it's thundering and snowing? It's the weirdest shit ever. I know. I looked at the storm yesterday that was up in this area, and the sky was green. And I told Mike, I was like, "We're going green." If you watch Twister, you know. And Twister's probably one of my favorite movies. Go with greed. But anywho, it's supposed to warm up though. Oh, it is. You know, from the time didn't that movie come out in 1996? Didn't it come out in 96? I will say though, that movie coming out in 96, it had pretty good, video graphics and stuff, for that time. God, I wish we could go back to if we could go back to like the 90, like 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, I wish we could go back to those times. I wish we could just go back to simpler times. I do. Oh, look. My AI summary says discussing tornado season and the strange phenomenon of snow thunder. Hey, that's a new TikTok troll account if anybody wants to make it. You can make a new TikTok troll account called Snow Thunder. That's a good name, Snow Thunder. I would not be surprised in less than 5 minutes somebody's going to come in here under an account called Snow Thunder. Oh, shit. Oh, man, I'm so ready to get released to go back to work. I'm so ready. No, ma'am, we're not doing the barking. No. Oh, another thing, Southern, this damn dog went so crazy the other night when it was thundering and lightning. She was freaking out. Like she was going absolute berserk. I had no choice. I had to put her in her kennel and I had to put her blanket over it and I had to put her stuffies in there because she was losing her ever loving fucking mind. That was her first storm ever. So I can probably say 4th of July, she's not going to do good around fireworks. And yes, I want another one. Okay? Mind your business, ho. Mind your business. She needs a friend. Like, I'm her best friend. I'm like, she wants to be my bestie, and she's under my ass 24/7. And if you have never owned a wiener dog, if you've ever never owned a dash hound, the struggle is real. You will never understand. These dogs are stage 5 clingers. And I can honestly say, Cooper and Marley, get her a ferret. Oh, I don't know if I can do a ferret. Don't ferrets go and hide a lot of shit? Don't they like take your socks and hide that shit? I can't keep nothing on this floor. Nothing. And I will say that I'm so glad that I'm a neat freak and I'm a clean freak and that I pretty much keep nothing on the floor other than her toys. But I will tell you, if she this bitch, if she finds a piece of lint, if there's a piece of lint on the floor, or if there's anything, this bitch is gonna find it. I swear to God, every 20 minutes, I'm like, what is in your mouth? What are you chewing on? But I will say though, you ferret. Did you got somebody came in here? Ferret number one, the one and only. I know you lying. I just literally had a ferret come into my chat. Well, see, we got a ferret now. We need snow thunder. We need snow thunder. Hold on, I gotta open up these blinds. Give me a second, Miley Ray. I have a quick question for people. Oh, you're warm and fuzzy. Oh Jesus. For people that build apartments, why do they keep putting vertical blinds in these apartments? You know the ones those ones that are dangly. You know, that have the slits in them. Why do they keep putting these old ass vertical blinds? They're so ugly. Which we're moving anyway, so I was gonna get like a curtain rod and put a curtain over it, but yeah. And then when one of them bitches breaks off, you know, trying to hang the bitch back up, it's a nightmare. So anyway. I'm glad to say we haven't lost one yet because of Mallory. Ferret, you said, but you do smell. Listen, I watched a girl on TikTok. She owns a ferret, and every other day she has to pull out her furniture and she finds like all the shit her ferret takes and hides. And then she couldn't find her AirPods one time, and then her ferret had actually taken her AirPods and hid them. How many ferrets do you have? I knew it. See, I told y'all Snow Thunder was going to make it. They were going to make an account called Snow Thunder. Okay, that's funny. I'm not even going to lie. you have a Cajun and a Boudin? Boudin? Is that how you pronounce it? Are they different types of ferrets? Do they have different types of ferrets? I don't know nothing about a ferret. Oh, okay. What are your ferrets' names? Okay. So, God, when was this? 2013, 14. It was either 2013, 14. I didn't get a guinea pig. A friend of mine had a guinea pig and they didn't know what to do with it. And at that point in time, so I was trying to be nice and I was like, well, I think I can do a guinea pig. I can have a guinea pig. No. Oh, the white one's Cajun and the black one's Boudin. Oh, okay. That's their names. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I thought it was a different type of ferret. Not even gonna lie. I was like, oh, they have Cajun ferrets? But yeah, I got a guinea pig and it was a tan and white one, spotted. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that, Southern. Appreciate it. Girl, you came in quick with that one. But yeah, I got a guinea pig and I went to PetSmart, got all the things for it, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, we're not going to do that. So yeah, I went to PetSmart, got all those things for guinea pig. Do y'all know how vocal guinea pigs are? Like they do this like that is what a guinea pig sounds like. Like it like squeaks. It like a That's what a guinea pig sounds like. Yes. 24/7. And then this guinea pig, everyone's like, oh, well, you can let the guinea pig out and you can let it roam around. No, because guinea pigs constantly shit. And they look like little pellets. And no, I couldn't do it. So yes, I rehomed the guinea pig. I didn't even charge nothing. The lady that took the guinea pig, I gave her the cage, gave her the whole setup, everything. So yeah, I would never do guinea pigs ever. Oh, you used to have a pet rat? You said they're sweet. I've heard that rats are like domesticated rats are like super sweet, super friendly. I don't listen. I don't know. I don't know. Where do guinea pigs? Where do they originate from? Like, if a guinea pig is out in the wild, where do guinea pigs live? That's a good question. Where do guinea pigs live? Because you know they have to live in the wild. Where do they live? Does anybody know where guinea pigs originated from? Anybody want to Google that? I mean, that's just like hamsters. People have hamsters. Like, where do hamsters live in the wild? Like, do they live in a certain area or region? They just who looked at I mean, what made people look at a hamster one day and be like, I'm gonna have me a pet hamster? I came to answer your question. Ensign, which question? Oh, they're hybrids. Oh, they come from Peru? Okay. I'm I'm being educated on this. You said Andes Mountains of South America. Mountains. Okay. I don't know. Like I said, I've always wondered, and like said, like, where do some of these people, and they used for food and rituals. Mm. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, Miley Ray, do you know that you're lucky? You could have originated in a whole different country and they could have eaten you for food and rituals. You said Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Colombia. Okay. Rituals for what? I tell you what, ain't nobody holding no ritual for my wiener dog. Y'all better not tell me where wiener dogs originated from or if they did anything mean to wiener dogs, because I'll come back and haunt them. Yes, her name is Miley Ray Cyrus. That is her name. I'm not a Hannah Montana fan. I just like the name Miley Ray, and I ended the name Cyrus at the end because why not? And all my dogs that I've ever owned all have middle names. I have Cooper Dan, Marley Dean Jackson, and then Sadie Grace. And then we got Miley Ray Cyrus. Miley Ray. Miley Ray, sing for him. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm gonna make it move. Germany is where my dog came from. Miley Ray, you're a German. Miley Ray is good and tight. Miley Ray, do you like chocolate German cake? Yes, you do. Oh, I love the shit out of this dog. I don't care. Y'all can make fun of me. You'll be like, she's talking about her wiener again. Yeah, she did the guilty. I love her. She's gotten so big. She's really not big. She's only 6 pounds. Ma'am, could you go play with your Lammy? Southern, I'm gonna make you come take her if when Mike and I go on vacation. You may have. I'm gonna board her. You may have to come get her and keep her. I don't know. I'm so protective of this damn dog. Like, I don't know. Like, we're going on vacation this summer, and I don't know. I'm torn whether or not I want to take her or not. So, because I know if I take her, she's gonna be trying to be up my ass 24/7, and then if we like go out and shit, if we go camping and stuff. So, I don't know, ma'am. You know what? You want a bone? Here. Okay, first of all, I like a chew bone, not like a bone. Hi, Sandy Cheeks. I'm good. I'm over here wrestling a wiener dog. Here, come on. You want a bone? Oh shit! You done ate your snack, girl. We're gonna go. I don't want to like give out too much details because TikTok people might try to hunt me down. If I tell y'all where we're going on vacation, somebody on TikTok might try to find out my location, try to hunt me down. But we're gonna go to the mountains. We're gonna go camping and fishing and all that stuff. So I'm pretty excited. Here, ma'am. There you go. And then we're gonna go do some sightseeing and go look at some different national parks, and then we're gonna go and go take some trails where they've got like some different waterfalls and stuff. So say what? I actually lived in Colorado for a while. When my ex-husband was stationed at Fort Carson. I lived in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So I have lived in Colorado. Very, very beautiful. But I will say the elevation, be prepared to suck air and not being able to breathe until you literally get acclimated to like the higher elevation. But yes, I will say Colorado is beautiful. It's super sunny. Even though if it does like snow there, like the sun is always shining, or it was for me when I was in Colorado Springs. So Colorado is a very beautiful state. Gorgeous. So is Montana. Montana's beautiful. Montana's a very beautiful state too. So yeah, I do. I'm excited. It is cold, but I will say that when I lived in Colorado, even if it was like snow on the ground, or if it was snowing, like it would, snow for a couple of days and then the sun would come out. And I don't know, but I felt like I was closer to the sun in Colorado. Like I just felt like the sun was beaming on you more in Colorado. I don't know. And whether, if you've not been there or not, or if you've been there, or if you've never lived there, like if you would get it. But Colorado is very beautiful. But Colorado, shit, it's expensive to live in Colorado. Shit, Colorado it's expensive. Housing and rent. Yes, it does. Um, I have been to Yellowstone. We went to Yellowstone one time. Um, and we were there for like 3 days. Wyoming is beautiful. Um, Yeah, Yellowstone National Park, beautiful. Yeah, not sure about that, Sandy Cheeks. So she don't come over here on this neck of the woods. So plus that person's not been nice to me on the internet. So trying to avoid certain things and trying to avoid uh mentioning names. Yeah. You might can answer that question, positive vibes forever. So yeah, Yellowstone, like I said, Yellowstone is beautiful. Yellowstone is a beautiful place. Um, we spent 2 days. Stop! You're gonna make people sleepy. Listen, I don't worry about where anybody else is on this app. I don't really, I wherever people go or hang out or what they're doing on the app, I stay sleepy. I stay sleepy. Um yeah, I really don't keep tabs on people, to be honest with you. You know. I just say people go on the app, they just go wherever the wind blows at this point. True story. And I'm gonna say this. If you are in my live, right, and you're in my chat and someone is in here now, if someone is in here that actively talks shit on me or actively is horrible to me, and you come in here and you come at me sideways, I'm going to mute you. Um, yeah. So if you want to come in here and just shoot the shit and be cool, fine, dandy. You want to be cordial. Um, but yeah, if you come up in this live, um, and I'm just gonna mute you, and I'm just gonna make you suffer, and you're just gonna have to watch or block me. That's kind of where I'm at. So, and honestly, why does it matter? Some people are saying, "Oh, well, does this person still talk to this person, or does this person still talk to this person?" Why do you care? Does it affect your everyday life? Does it? If why somebody talks to somebody, how does that affect your real life? And why should that bother you? Because I got some conversations down here in my comment section, and I'm just saying, like, why does it matter? How or why was that affecting you? So I don't know. No, you're fine. You're fine. It's just there's I don't know. There's just some people have history with people. Some people don't mess with people no more. And some people part ways, and it is what it is. Me, I just come to the mutual understanding and have the mutual respect to say, hey, I don't align with this person. We this person doesn't align with me, and we can just have a thing to agree to disagree and move on. But I'm not going to argue with another damn stranger on the internet. And I'm never going to explain myself to another person on the internet. And nor am I going to ever rehash any other old shit that has happened from the past. I'm not. Now, whether or not some other people choose to do that shit, that's fine. And that's another thing. Say what? And for some reason, people feel like they can try to tell people how they should live. And I don't get how some of you people think that you can dictate and control what people do or who they associate with. You are not owed an explanation as to why somebody talks to X, Y, and Z. And if that bothers people, that is a you problem. And you might should go touch some grass, and you might should just go live in your everyday real life and live in your real reality, and stop living in this fantasy world of TikTok as if you feel like that you are going to be the judge, the juror, and the executioner on this damn app. Golly. And what gets me so much about this app is you get a group of people that says, well, old Martha, she did this, and old Martha did that. Now, did you hear? I swear to God, Molly over there lapping. She's over there sucking that water. Shit, me and Mau might have a daughter. What do you call a dog drinking? Uh, uh, Contest. Jesus, Miley Ray, you done sucked up. Well, she did just eat a whole snack food. She just had a bone and she had a snack, so her mouth might have been dry. But what I'm saying is you got somebody, let's just do a random name, okay? Because, we're not going to, heaven forbid you mention someone's name around here. But let's say you got old Margaret. Margaret's over there saying, I'm all mad over there because Betty Boop is sitting with such and such, and I heard she's talking to such and such, and I don't like it. You need the deer screen? I don't want to show my face. Oh, you mean this one? This one? There you go. We'll change it up. Y'all like my moo? I just have a question though. Like, who are we as people to try to dictate or decide who people are friends with and why they're friends with them? I can't. We gotta go to this one. Okay? We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna go to this one. Oh my God, I'm gonna stretch out. Maybe y'all see Miley. See, look at her. There's no personal space with this dog. None. No personal space. Y'all see her? She got to be right at my ass, Southern. I know. Mm-hmm. She's about 8.5 months old. So she does. She loves me. But I just want to ask, why do y'all feel like y'all can dictate who people are friends with, why they're friends with them, and then why do y'all feel the need to attack more people? It's so old. It's so old. So if if you want to come and join my lives, and you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to get called out or yelled at, feel free to come over to mine. Hell, even if you've talked shit about me and you just want to come over here and shoot the shit. And if you decide to go to someone else's live and they're talking shit about me and you want to participate, go right ahead. Okay? Because I'm drowning out the noise. I'm drowning it out. Okay? We're just over here, we're just going to have a good time. Maybe not for a long time, but we'll have a good time. I'm just not going to allow any more of this damn negativity to affect me at all. And I think some of y'all might even need to seek out therapy. Some of y'all just not need to figure out why the hell y'all are so mad at life and why you're so disgruntled and angry and why you feel the need to constantly want to stay in the fuck shit. What is it that's lacking in your own everyday real life that makes you feel the need to come on the internet to be an asshole? You'll always be my home. My man's trying to call me. Hold on. I'm going to message him. I'm going to hold on. Give me a second. I got to message him real quick and tell him I'm on live. Hey, I guarantee he's probably off work because it's about 2:00. He's been at work since like 4 a.m. I'm just saying. Some of y'all need to ask yourselves what you were lacking in your real everyday life that is making you want to come on the internet and constantly just be an asshole to people. Just a question. It's never going to make sense. It's never going to change. People are going to be who they are. People are going to sit with who they sit with. People are going to support who they support, whether you like it or not. You know, have I stated my opinions? Hold on just a second. Have I stated my opinions on how I felt about a certain person? You know, when I went into Smash's live several nights ago, I did because that person has, you know, whatever. Now, if people decide whether or not I don't like that person, if people decide that they don't like that person or they want to continue to support that person, do I care? No. Am I going to keep beating a dead horse? Am I going to keep rehashing the shit? No. I said what I wanted to say and I moved on. But I'm not going to make a certain person my entire personality or my entire existence and the reason why I'm on TikTok. You know, I've learned that sometimes it's best just to leave shit the fuck alone and fuck it. No matter what it is that I say or my opinions that I have, it's not going to change. And that person is going to continue to be who they want to be until they want to make those changes within themselves. I can only control who I am. I can only control what I do. But I don't make excuses for my shit. I've owned up to my shit. That life is life. Okay? And I guarantee you, 2 to 5 years from now, none of this shit's going to matter. None of it's going to matter. Some people are going to fall off. They're going to drop off. Some people are just going to say, I don't want to do TikTok no more. They're going to move on to something else. And then you're going to have whole new groups and everything else. You're going to have, I guarantee you, within the next 6 months, there's probably going to be another great divide with certain groups. I tell y'all, within 6 months, some people right now that are calling each other besties and best friends, I guarantee you in 6 months, some of those relationships are going to fall off. Because it's TikTok. It's TikTok. This dog has absolutely just plopped her. She just plopped her ass on top of my ass. I'm telling you. No personal space. You got cramps? Girl, you better take you some Aleve and get you a heating pad. Oh, shit. Anyway, well, I've been on here long enough. Been on here rambling. Jesus, Molly Ray. But yeah, Mike's getting ready to come home. And yeah, we gotta go to the grocery store and shit. You know. Gotta go live the life. I don't know. I'm thinking I really want to go to Scooters. I want to get me a Scooters drink. So, but anyway, stop harassing people. Stop calling people's phone numbers. Stop doxing my number. Okay, I've changed my number. Okay, that was the whole initial point of this live. Okay, so if you're texting somebody and you think you have my number, it has been changed. Okay, it has been changed. So, yeah, if you want to get a hold of me, DM me in through TikTok. You got something to say to me, you can say it through TikTok. And then if I don't want to listen to what you got to say to me, I'm going to block your ass. So there's that. So, well, anyway, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you guys all have a good day. We're midweek. Don't take this app so seriously. Don't. If it's stressing you out, if you feel yourself getting too overwhelmed, too worked up, just log off. Shut your phone off. 10 out of 10 recommend. But anyway, I'm leaving. So y'all have a good one. Bye, guys. I gotta shut this shit off. What the fuck? Hold on. Okay, there we go. Fuck, I can't. I'm trying to log the fuck off. Oh, fucking it. I know. Oh my God. Okay. All right, I think I figured. All right, fuck it, bye. I got it figured out.